Hey guys, come here. You gotta hear this. If you say it's so hot out loud, someone from Arizona will materialize out of thin air and tell you that you've never experienced real heat before. I swear, it's like science. Flashlight in real life. Flashlight in horror games. Hey, fear is a weakness. If a video game can evoke fear in you, excuse me, you're not strong enough for the real world. Yeah, that's the exact vibe I'm catching. This is either a message from a pubescent 16-year-old or a dude who isn't really that masculine trying his hardest to fool the world that he is. Like seriously, I'm almost certain that this guy's been scared by a horror movie. Does that make him not strong enough for the real world because that's a simulated situation? You can't be a snack with stretch marks. Wow. Look, you'd be surprised how many people who are fit have stretch marks because they were fat at some point or overweight at some point. Trust me, whoever this is a kid, because when you grow up, you're going to encounter a lot of women who are attractive who happen to also have tiger stripes. Sometimes I really delude myself into thinking that the internet has run out of arguments to be had. But once again, I've been proven wrong. Like seriously, I wouldn't think anybody would gatekeep fish, of all things. What's with the sudden trend of grown men playing with children's toys? Do these men also make spaceshipy sounds when playing with them? Hashtag manchild. Wow, out of all of the things that you could have chosen to deem childish or non-masculine, you chose the most masculine thing that younger and older men do. And it's called model building. Building models has always been a dude thing. Now, the funny thing is, though, you have somewhat of an argument because Lego is a children's toy company and much of their products are geared towards that, consumer market, children. But get this, there's an adult market too. A very, very big adult market. And I'm one of those people. I buy Lego architecture sets, I buy Lego Technic sets, and currently I picked up the Lego NES set. They're not cheap. The most recent build that I finished is the Bugatti Chiron. It took me 3 days and cost me over $300. Personally, I think it's really cool to have a 1:8 scale model of a luxury car that I built myself. And I seriously don't know how that conflicts with my masculinity. It doesn't make me any less of a man to build a 1:8 scale model of a really cool luxury car. Oh, and to answer your original question, I didn't do spaceshipy sounds. I did vroom vroom sounds after I finished building it because I had 3 days of constant Lego nightmares. So, yeah, I deserved a little bit of a vroom vroom, a little bit of playtime with my cool car. Yeah, if anything, you talk about masculinity a lot, yet you spend time out of your day to tweet dumb stuff on Twitter. What would you call that? What would you call that? Because that's an obvious waste of time. You could be like a father or something, right? You could be doing some bricklaying or whatever. What would you call this activity? Not a real mom. You didn't get the full experience. If you had a C-section, you didn't give birth. You had surgery. You're not a real mom. All right, to all of my pregnant mothers right now, if you are obese, if you have a tilted uterus, if you have some sort of medical predispositions for anything, just bad medical predispositions for anything, if you're just uncomfortable with natural birth, you're not a real mother. You just had surgery, that's not even a real birth. You can just, I guess, vibe. You're not a parent because you didn't give birth. That's not even your baby, apparently. That's like the hospital's baby or whatever. Do you understand how stupid this is? No, that's birth. There's some women who just can't have natural births. That's just how it is. C-sections aren't even a modern invention. They've always existed in human society as an alternative to natural birth. The fact that there's mothers out there who are literally telling other mothers that they aren't valid because they chose a different method of birth. Like, sorry, Patricia, just because you're mad that your pussy's now a blooming onion because your baby was 8 pounds doesn't mean you get to be mean to other women who chose to go through a different method of birth. If it has more than 100,000 listens on Spotify, it's not real music. Yeah, it couldn't be that just no one either likes the song or no one even knows that the song exists. I think it's the latter because it's obvious you think that you're better than other people because you have a novel music taste, when in reality you just like listening to bad music or go out of your way, look so hard to look for new releases of any song by any artist because you're so thirsty, you're so hungry for personality. And you might think that's cool, you might even think that makes you unique, but to the rest of the world, we look at you like a fucking loser. For those fortunate to have a husband, be ever mindful of your role. If you don't honor his status as a Christ-appointed head of family, someone else will. If your man touches these, you failed as a wife. Oh man. In my opinion, I prefer the traditional family type of setup. Man goes to work, woman holds down the house. I feel like that's a completely fair deal. But these images here and what you're alluding to isn't homemaking or being a wife. It's called being a competent man, taking care of your son or daughter, learning how to clean up after yourself, cooking for yourself, and cleaning your clothes are literally the bare minimum of being a competent man. You don't get to complain about this if you didn't play this. Dude, that game is like 30 years old. Now, I've played the original Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis and the more recent releases of the game, but a lot of people who are seeing this movie haven't because they were born in like the early 2000s. You're essentially telling 2007 kids that they shouldn't get to complain about a movie because they couldn't play a game that was like 5 to 10 years their senior. Now, personally, I haven't seen the movie because I remember the original Mortal Kombat movie and how bad that was, so I was already kind of skeptical. But from what I heard, people say they enjoyed it, and they didn't fuck it up this time. Dude, don't claim you celebrate 420 unless you drink all of the bong water. Yo, I'm fine with females watching Naruto, but don't ever think you'll understand Sasuke's true pain like us boys do. I'm a boy, and I don't understand his pain. I still have my family, though. The dude lost his whole family and had to watch it happen. The only reason why he isn't dead is because his brother took pity on him. So yeah, it doesn't shock me that girls don't understand. I don't think anybody would understand this dude's pain. What the fuck? Why is he calling another dude babe? People are gay, Steve. That's okay, but I thought gay dudes would call each other hot or some gay shit, not babe. Babe is a straight word. Hot the fuck? Who comes up with stuff? I mean, look, I don't even know what the fuck it's. This generation of kids will never know this pain. We were outside 24/7. No, kids can still play outside. Many kids still do. I played outside as a kid, and I'm Gen Z. Also, kids, contrary to popular belief, do have the ability to understand pain and maybe even feel it themselves. I know it's bleeding edge science, purely theory, but in all seriousness, the only difference between our generation and yours is that we don't throw glass bottles at each other and spending an entire weekend looking for a dead body. Yeah, we don't do that. We're just different. I'm here 50 times a day, 7 days a week. You're a Saturday guy. This was an unreal roast between two aggravated white men in a Lowe's checkout line. Lowe's? Fucking lackeys. Home Depot gang. Adults who like Disney shouldn't be allowed to vote. Wow, you just inadvertently took the right to vote away from like a lot of women, like millions of women. In all seriousness though, is it childish? Yes. Is it weird? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's somebody's hobby and it's not that deep. Yeah, it's odd when you encounter somebody who's like 35 years old and is really, really into Disney, but you could say the same thing about people who are really into Marvel and DC. Those guys walk a fine tightrope between obsessive and enthusiast, and you really don't know until you talk to one. Originally posted by Dead.
Gatekeeping is not only a good thing, it's like a morally good thing. It maintains the quality and integrity of the activity or IP in question.
Damn, you have a terrible opinion, buddy.
Excuse me, I am not your buddy. You are not worthy of my friendship. I don't accept fake gamers, noobs, and casuals as friends.
No, dude, you got it all wrong. You don't accept friends because no one's offering. It's one thing to try to maintain focus in a fandom or a community. That's perfect. It's a great way of maintaining quality. But a fandom can only grow when newbies join, and new people will always be naive or ignorant to the inside jokes or all the intricacies of a specific IP. That's the whole point. They're trying to learn. By gatekeeping a specific IP or a specific activity, you're thereby killing the community because it can't grow. Kids born between 1997 and 2002 versus all the other kids. Wait a second, are we all Jason Momoa or are we all just attractive? Which one is it? Either one is fine. I either get to be Aquaman or literally a pussy magnet. I see these posts all the time and they always give me a strange vibe because it's like Gen Z versus beef with toddlers, essentially. This is exactly what you're saying, because anyone who's born 2003 and above are either in high school, middle school, or elementary school. Like, seriously, these kids have no agency to ruin the planet. They can't do it. They're way too young. If there's any problems in the modern world, it's millennials and Gen Z's fault. Last time I checked, it's not the 2011 kids who are responsible for making Twitter and TikTok the way it is today. Why do females think they can listen to Radiohead? They'll never know how it feels to be creeps or weirdos. That's a lie. There's plenty of female creeps, and stop gatekeeping music. People have ears. They can listen to whatever music they want to listen to. But a quick addition to the female creepy shit, I just recently learned about this, and a lot of other guys have recently learned about this because we don't actually view it this way. Apparently, the stereotypical, oh, the girl in the locker room, feeling up all the other girls and being very handsy, in real life is the creepy girl. Apparently, girls who act like that in locker rooms or any spaces that they're changing with other women are considered the very creepy women to stay away from. And that seriously shocked me. I would never have considered that a creepy act because on TV, movies, literature, all of that is normalized. And apparently, the way that it actually is, the girls who do that are the creepiest girls in the room and are meant to be stayed away from. How you met Keanu Reeves versus how I met him. Bitch, please. Wow, you're so old. You just fucking admitted to the rest of the world that you're 30. All that says is that I grew up in the 80s. That's all that says. Funny enough, I can date myself too if we're gonna play this game. Yeah, my first exposure to Keanu Reeves was Constantine. And to this day, I am still salty that they haven't made a sequel. Why? It was so fucking good. No real man is taking restaurant leftovers home. Not finishing your plate is kind of feminine. So you're trying to tell me that you've never cooked hungry? You've never made more food than you could eat? I bet you have stomach aches all the time, over here speed eating just so that you can save your masculinity. Are you serious? I've never ever heard someone say this before. If you didn't smoke weed before it was legalized, please don't start now because you weren't there when we fought for freedom. Okay, let's use your logic on something else. Women right now, if you weren't born in the 20s, you shouldn't vote. You weren't out there tussling with the suffragettes trying to get the right to vote. You can't vote. You don't deserve it. Don't do it now because they fought for freedom. You see how fucking stupid that shit is? Just so you know, guys, Trevor is fine. His dad made a tweet saying that he's in rehab and going into culinary school. Who cares? I quit drugs all on my own. While holding down a job, I'm strong. Now that's something to brag about. Shrugs. He ain't shit. Had to be coddled in rehab. Next. It would have cost you nothing to just be kind. You could have just said, hey, you quit drugs? That's great. I quit drugs too. I did it in a different way, but you did it in a more, safe way. I did it hard, just full cold turkey, but it doesn't matter because we both strived and are succeeding at kicking a bad habit. But no, instead you chose to be an ass, so I hope that you relapse and go back to sniffing that jankum. I hate women who complain about being fat when they're like a size 5. Anything under a size 5 isn't a woman, it's a boy with breasts. Shut up, you're just mad that you're 250 pounds and undesirable. Quit trying to gatekeep what's a woman. You will always fail at that argument. Why not just be honest about your situation and stop hating people who simply look different from you and actually benefit from the way that they look in society? Because people view them as healthy and view you as ugly. Celebrating your birthday is a feminine trait.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Pro tip, don't learn a language if you don't come from the language's bearers. I.e., don't learn French if you're not French. Don't learn Chinese if you're not Chinese. Don't learn Icelandic if you're not Icelandic. It just appropriates culture more. I hope to God that you're white because you're speaking English right now. It'd be really weird if you were any other race and speaking English because you would just be contradicting yourself, right? So yeah, where's that 23andMe? Come on. Let's see that genealogy. Oh my god, I can't believe someone really said to me, "You're lucky you ride a bike. Gas prices are ridiculous, dude." Just to be clear, I cycle. I don't ride a bike to get from point A to B. Learn the difference, folks. Ooh, you one of those. You're one of those. Just because you ride your bike to work doesn't mean you're better than everybody else. Yeah, your legs look great, but you're so annoying on the street with your stupid little hand signs and bike gear. It's all obnoxious. It's all gratuitous and obnoxious. You never ride in the bike lane, you're always in the street, and you're always so hoity-toity about your fucking hobby. No one cares that you ride a bike to work. Nobody cares. I really hope that your $1 million 12-speed whatever the fuck gets stolen by a teenager. I wish the worst for you. Pray for Myanmar. Terrible for your country, but it isn't Palestine. A bigger issue on a global scale. Oh shit, it was only about time. Okay, look, I'm not gonna tell you my opinion because regardless of what I say, either side will hate me. So I will say one thing that all of us can agree on. Missile strikes in public areas are bad. Alright, so let's move on to the next post before my whole channel catches fire from everybody yelling at each other. And our final post today comes from the best website on the planet, Twitter. If it's not full color, it's not a sleeve. If there's skin without ink, it's not a sleeve. If your arm is black and gray, you don't have a sleeve, you have tattoos. Sit down with your 4-hour sleeve. I have 30 plus hours on one arm and it's half done, you fakers. Hey, shut up. Because we all know that you got those tattoos to make up for the fact that you don't have a personality. Just from seeing how aggravated you are, I'm getting the vibe that you whip out your arm at every social event you go to. Because if anybody were to ask you about any other facets other than tattooing, you'd shatter like tempered glass. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Ailurus, aka Panda Daddy, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, let me know in the comments down below, and leave a like if you liked the video. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, fam. What you doing watching videos and not subscribing? And if you're old, make sure you hit that bell so you get these notifications every time. I seriously hope you're enjoying this whole week of content. After this video, there's going to be 2 more uploads, and both of them are going to be guaranteed bangers, or your money back. And we gotta thank the people who made this week possible. So a big thank you to Light1636, Broken to Asters, Jackson, The Business, Lady Laughs a Lot, Brett, Mina the Swift, Esau, Izuku, Destroyer, Trey, Muffy Luhu, Noah, Vermont, John Robinson, Eva, Catherine Taylor, Arjun, Hannah, Keith Myers, Will Billy, Dustin, and Hostmar. Thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. And if you want to help support the channel, there's 2 links in the description, one on my Patreon and one on my merch store. Both funds go directly into the channel so we can maintain what's happening here. And as always, stay zesty.